Hey, good morning, a beautiful day here in New Jersey. So this morning we got a couple of jobs lined up. I'm gonna do a restaurant early this morning. Then I'm heading over into the city. We're gonna be doing some tenement buildings. I'm also gonna show you a little bit about the solutions that I use. What I try to do when I mix my tank. So since we're going from one job right to another, rather than keep mixing the tanks, we try to use the same solution in the tank. The stuff that I use in restaurants, I try to apply it also to to use it so we can use it in the residential account. The stuff that we use at restaurants don't have odor, so it keeps an odor to a bare minimum. So I try to use the same solution in the residential. They're very effective because I use what they call a broad spectrum. It hits a lot of different crawling insects, and also it's again low odor. And I also add an additive as a knockdown in case they are active roaches or insects that we can kill them right away. If you like the content that I'm providing, please hit the like and subscribe. And any comments or questions, please leave them down below, and I get right back to you. On my way to this is the tenement building that we're doing. It's a small place. It's a 4-family. It's not a lot of issues here. They had mainly rodents, but again under control. Well, we're basically doing a follow-up and preventive on a schedule that we have with this building. I'm glad everything's gotten better. Good. All right, so in this front, in the bathroom, well, in the house in general, we had a problem with some mice coming in, and ended up sealing. This is one of the last places we sealed, right back here. And so by sealing it, I treated the hole before sealing it, and that's helped a lot. I pretty much slowed down to a halt. This is funny, but this is the tenant did that. Look, they put spikes to avoid the mice. The metal fiber has enough, as one of the things that they do not chew. They can probably chew right through those sticks, but I guess it looks good. Esa es la diferencia. Esa es la diferencia. Y por eso mucha gente se va. Sí, en la ciudad es complicado. Exterminator. Oh, yeah. She's fine. I just sprayed around here. Oops. Hello. El exterminador. Ya voy por ahí, ¿ok? Aquí en la boila. It's gonna be coming up on our last stop this afternoon. It's beautiful Saturday morning. It's a supermarket that I do. This is twice a month, and like in most supermarkets, crawling insects are not typically a problem. It's usually rodents. They're under control, but again, we need to be here all the time to monitor and to make sure, as a preventive measure, that they don't get out of control. Catch the traps or always put them back. Put them back in the same place. RTUs. Check these. Kick them so you don't get surprises, right? Okay, so this one is empty, and we haven't replenished this one in a while because this is where they put all the water. So if you have access, anytime you have access, you go ahead and refill it. This one's not too bad. Got some they're eating, so it's not too bad. This one, they're eating the bait, so we'll replenish it. We'll add more bait in there. They've been eating it. They ate quite a bit of it. Okay, so from looking at this little spot here, again, a professional could tell immediately if there's activity, if there's mice activity or not. A person that's not in the profession, that doesn't know, doesn't have the experience, will not be able to tell. So right now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to point out, what we call traces of mice activity. All right, here we go. You ready? All right, first we'll look at the floor. The floor, if you look, you may not be able to see. I'm gonna try to shine on it, but there's a little bit of shine on the floor, and that's usually from the urine. When they start the urine around, it crystallizes, and it leaves a little bit of urine, if you shine a light on it, it'll reflect a little bit. Now here on the concrete, you can see it here also on the brick. On the brick, see if I can get it right there. You see it? You see there's a little bit of line, and I'll show you where again. You see it? It's actually right here, where my finger is, right there. That's from my urine. The next thing we look at is called rub marks. Rub marks are right here. This is a rub mark. All that you see, this is a rub mark. All the way down. So that means they crawl up. This is their path. You see that? That's a rub mark. That is their path. So they come up. They're actually very, very agile. Mice, if it's a porous wall, they can grip onto it, and then just move. So in an old structure like this, they come in from the basement, and they can climb up into the holes in the wall, holes in the ceiling, and they can make their way up into the store. So, basically we fight them down here, and upstairs we set up traps and also RTU, rodent treatment units upstairs. Okay. All right, so I'm here in this place, the supermarket, and I'm gonna check one of the traps. There's these metal traps. Always put them in places, obviously away from the public and in areas where you've seen trace of mice activity. And this one, I usually catch. If there's stuff happening in the store, they always end up here. So let's see what's going on here. Look at that, it's nothing, it's empty today. So the activity slowed down. This was here 2 weeks ago, and so right now we're in good shape, believe it or not. All right, so this about wraps it up this Saturday. As I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna show you the mixture that I did this morning, and the reason I did that mixture is because we treated in a restaurant. And I also went and treated a couple of buildings. Again, to avoid having to mix and be using both tanks, I keep everything on one tank, and the same mix will help you, or the same mix that you do in your tank will help you treat the restaurant, and you can also treat the residential, the apartments. Just to start, we have again a broad spectrum. I'm not going to mention the name, but if you have any questions and like to know about it, just leave your questions or comments below, and I'll help you out with that. So this is called a broad spectrum. As I mentioned, broad spectrum meaning it kills, is designed to kill many different crawling insects, not a specific one. Next, we put this is an additive outside of that other one. The broad spectrum is called broad spectrum because it kills a lot of different insects, and it's also a residual, meaning that once it dries, it'll still work. Typically they say 30 days, 45 days, depending on the environment. And then this guy here, this is an additive. This only works while it's wet. So that's why it's called a knockdown. So if you have active roaches, active ants, water bugs, whatever crawling insects you have active, this will kill it. This will knock it down while it touches the insect and moving. Once it dries, it's not effective. But I put it on just in case we run into any issues. We have it in case we have any activity anywhere I'm spraying. I want to make sure that we're not only leaving the residual behind, but we're also taking care of the insects that we're able to see. Last, we put this guy here. This is we don't use a lot. We only use a couple of drops in the tank. This is called an adjuvant. Adjuvant, basically, what it does is it kind of puts the broad spectrum solution on steroids. Basically, jacks it up a notch. So makes it a little stronger. The adjuvant, it's also designed especially good for wet areas. So that's why I put it on when I do restaurants. If they're washing constantly, which they do in restaurants where they wash floors every night, a lot of stuff that we put down gets washed off. That's why we have to constantly go out there. So with the adjuvant, it gives it a little more staying power. So when you hit the walls, hit onto the machines, under the equipment, with the adjuvant, it'll help you. It'll help the solution stay a little longer. Okay, so I hope all these tips are helpful. If you like the content, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share the video. All right, this is gonna be here for a while. We're gonna be doing this all year, God willing. And like I said, if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll get right back to you. Have a great weekend.